So thank you very much. My session is on storytelling, branding, and visibility, right? And I really don't even know if I'm the most qualified to take this session because for, let me see, about 2 years now, I've been very quiet everywhere. And it was deliberate. I just decided to take a step back to re-strategize. And I think that once in a while, we need to do that, especially if you're trying to build a public image. You need to go back and strengthen or solidify your roots so that you are not just a lightweight outside. So for like the past it was just supposed to be a 1 year thing, but I found myself doing 2 years. You know, when you enter that place, it's very difficult to come out. Have you stopped posting on your Instagram before? Once you stop, to start posting again, it's like hard work. You are just angry with it. You are like, what are you doing? Why are you even posting? You are even angry that people are posting. Why must you tell us about it? Yes, we know. Get it. So that was what happened to me. But I think that I'm gradually coming back in here. So let's get into it quickly. I know that you've been looking at this thing, right? And you've been wondering, how would somebody start a presentation with this? Can we read it together, everybody? You're not loud enough. Read it well now, confident. What it is that you are thinking is not what I wrote here, Shao. I don't know but whatever it is you are thinking. So, who is your daddy actually? How do I move my slides? Or somebody's going to help me do that. So just think back and picture your father's face right now. So when I tell you to just move here, so are lucky. Are we together? There are some people that their father's names opens doors for them. Are you getting my point? If Otedola is my father, the man will not rest. I will just be going every Otedola. In fact, Otedola will be my first name. Then my name will not be in the middle. It will not be my last name again. What's your name, Otedola? That's just what I'll be saying. So your dad is not here, right? If no, Omo, next slide, please. So, brah, you've got to tell your story, man. Are we together, everybody? Because I've come to realize that that currency is very helpful. You know, social currency, visibility currency, credibility currency. It's a very important thing. I came across a statement one time from one of my favorite writers. A lot of people don't like him, Robert Greene. Do you know Robert Greene? Yes. 48 Laws of Power. When I say that book, people say, God forbid Barton. So he wrote something, I think it was in one of his books, The Art of Seduction, and he said, the worst thing that can happen to a man who wants to change the world is to not have anybody listen to him. That's to not have an audience. Your body will just pepper you. Sorry, I can speak Pidgin, Abi? Okay, just to emphasize some points. But I know English. I promise you, I'm a master's degree holder. I know English. You will just be angry and frustrated. You know why? Because there are a lot of things you want to say. There are a lot of things you want to move, but nobody is listening to you. Have you made a post online and nobody commented before? Especially when you spent a lot of time writing that content or creating that content. Nobody even send you message. They didn't even, it can be very painful. You will start questioning your brilliance. Am I really brilliant? And all of that. It's very painful. And if you want to build something, you have to take it as an important priority. That means that you must deliberately build something that people can see and recognize you for. In fact, at this point, it is now even a compulsory process, a compulsory act, because we're now beginning to see a lot of fake people, or a lot of, I don't know how I use that word, but a lot of people who do not have the technical expertise that you have, but they are winning and they are getting that level of credence that you need. They are getting the credit, and they're not as good as you are. It's a sad thing that we see everywhere. It's everywhere. So it's even, you don't even have a choice at this point. You must be loud, aggressively loud. Are we together? You must be you must own your story, own your narrative. especially in this era that we are in, where there are so many narratives. Everybody now is an influencer or is a celebrity. You are a celebrity in your own right. You must deliberately, consciously own your narrative and then shape it according to how you want it to be. It is no longer a matter of, you can't afford to be shy. In fact, let me hit it more. You are too broke to be shy. Yeah, clock it. You are actually too broke. Even me, I'm too broke to be shy. All of us together, we are too broke. Okay, some people are rich, like Orifunke Lawal, you know. That's a government executive. And you see people like Tolu Maki, those ones are rich people. They just honor us with their presence here. We are too broke, except you are very, very, you don't need it. You want to do quiet money. You know those kind of quiet money where they are not loud. But you see, me, my father is not in that place. I cannot afford to live low-key or coded. I tried it for like 2 years and I realized that it didn't help me at all. So you can't afford to be shy. You must own spaces. You must walk into a place and own the space. Are you getting my point? It's a must now. As far as you have the foundations for it, what's the foundation? You are not an empty head. In fact, by virtue of the fact that you are in this room, I believe that you have something to give. So you cannot afford to say, when I was doing my ND at Nigerian Institute of Journalism, if I leave my ND, when I was doing my BSc, when I tell this story, it's very funny because it's the opposite of who I am today. For the 4 years I spent in Unilag, I was shy. I was afraid to talk, and I still do not know why up till today. And opportunities passed me a lot because they will ask a question in class, nobody would know the answer, and I know the answer, but I will not talk, and they will just brand all of us as Olodo. I was so angry with myself after that for every school that I've gone to after that, all my postgraduate programs, I will be class governor. That's the way I'm using to compensate for that rubbish I did in BSc. I will contest for class governor. Let me lose, but I will still be very influential. Because I've realized that you cannot change systems if you are at the back. Are we together? You must be there and you must be loud. You must be loud. So you must be there. And I told you the basic is the fact that, let's move to the next slide. The basic is the fact that you have the foundation, which is that you are solid. There's something there. So this session is not about that. I can talk a lot about that. Because if you're not solid and you are loud, we'll figure you out. Are you getting my point? We'll find you out. If you need to go back to school, go back to school. Are we together? If you need, because you see, in your field, there's something I always say that you need to be able to brag that I'm the best at what I do. Can you brag like that? Can you make that kind of boast? You need to be able to say that, wake me up from sleep, put me in front of, I'm the best. That's the level. When you get to that level, now you should not close your mouth again. Are we together? Next slide, please. So I'll give you a framework that I call the 5 Ps. Purpose, problem, path, proof, and promise. So your purpose is your why, Let's move to the next slide. I'll use myself as an example for this. So this is me, right? Looks like me, right? And so when I finished school, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was just roaming around. Then I met somebody who I'm into learning and development right now. And I always say that I stumbled into that field because no university prepares anybody for, there's no course like that you do. You get it. So I just met this man. He was a church member then, and he just, every time the man will wear, you see that man on suit at the back there, wearing that brown suit. Is he not handsome? He will just wear a brown suit. What did he say? Clock it. Great. This is where Gen Z, the problems people will give us in this society here. This man will just wear his suit and stroll out every morning, briefcase, pass in front of my house. And I just met him one day. I said, sir, I don't know what it is that you do, but I want to be following you. And the man said, I said, I don't know your job, but I shall want to be following you to work every time. Because I just finished school. So he said, okay, follow me. And I started following him to the office every time. And he apparently he was into L&D. So when it's time for tea break, I'll help him set up tea. I'll make all the tea, serve. I'll set up the laptop and all of that. And one day he just told me, can you talk? I said, I can talk now. I used to do Sunday school teacher and I asked fellowship teacher. I can talk, forget. I can talk. And he said, okay, you will take 1 hour. And I trained for 1 hour and it was good. Then the next day he said, you will take 1 day. And that day has always been a major change in my life for me. Let's go to the next slide. Because I taught a class. I just finished my final year exam. And they gave me to teach a class of the man that was in my class was a marketing manager, British American Tobacco. This is a man that his monthly salary was like my whole net worth at that point. And all the knowledge that he had was, I don't know whether I don't know how I performed, but what that did for me that day was that it just gave me confidence. Like, it just made me know. And that man, that's the person I spoke to that brought me into the industry. He told me one thing. He said, the first thing you need to do if you're going to do this job is that you must be freaking confident. You must realize that. And he told me, he said, as far as you are the one standing, talking, and they are the ones sitting down, listening, you know more than them. That was like fuel for me. It just entered my head and it stuck there. Do you get my point? Because I've had CEOs in my class. I've had like and when I mean CEOs, I don't mean WhatsApp CEOs. I mean, no, I'm not sorry now. I'm not saying that payments validates or that. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, people that I've had those people in my class. And I just learned that if you do not own your space. So he told me that even from, I hope you're picking one or two things from what I'm saying. I decided to use a story to tell stories as I'm teaching this. And he told me that even from your dressing, you can already begin to command respect. Remember when I started training then, I would always wear just a white shirt and trouser, right? And just go to my class. And I looked like one of those people that used to go and serve food in wedding. And then he told me, he said, let's do this. Do you have a blazer? I said, I don't have. He said, go and make one. So I remember my first ever blazer, I still have it in my house, blazer of glory. I kept it because it takes me back to those days. So he said, go and make one. So I made it. And I remember that the first day I wore that blazer and a tie, I entered the training room. All I was just saying was, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I said, now, sorry, I didn't know. Do you get? And it's not now that I'm a bit chubby. I don't even know how it happened. If you had seen me as at 7 years ago, I was like this, very lanky with baby face. So imagine I want to go and teach people. The only thing that was saving was that I know book. So if I start talking, you will believe that, okay, this one is brilliant. But if you want to judge me by appearance, you will chase me away. NMPC brought us to train. They flew me from Lagos to Benin. As I got there, landed, went to meet the training manager. The man looked at me from it. They said, no, this training cannot hold. And he was ready to fly me back to Lagos. Because I looked like a child. And I also trained senior people. This is a real life experience. I was so sad that day because I'm like, this was something that I've been looking forward to. You know, they didn't see my face. We were just exchanging emails and all of that. And I just felt like, so I called the man. I said, are you in your room? He said, yes. I said, I'm coming to your room. Then I went there and I said, can I do a demo for you? So I did a 30 minutes demo for him. And he said, okay, I'll risk it. And let's see. I finished that training. That man gave me money extra. He was like, you are so good. I said, yes, I know. And I had to learn to go and I know now. And I had to learn to go and start eating up so that, you add up. I learned that you must own your space. Are we together? When you are when you are building a global presence, you must never allow yourself to be intimidated. When you come in, from how you look to how you speak, you see, you need to be very, very particular about the aesthetics of yourself. Are we together? You need to be very, it doesn't mean that you are vain. It just means that you know where you are going to. Do you get my point? You need to be very particular about that. How you speak, how you talk, how you clean up. Very, very important. I learned that those things can even command respect because I saw it happen in my own life. When I wear a suit and a tie and my pocket square and I come in, you just start hearing, good morning, sir, good morning, sir, good morning, sir. So I realized that complete your look at every time. So let's help you tell your own story. Let's look at the first P. So for the first P, we're talking about purpose. And then I said here that every great story starts with the clarity of purpose. You need to understand what it is that you are doing. And that is the most difficult part. Because one of the things that would affect you as a young person, especially in your 20s, is you would have so many paths you want to go into. Am I correct? I nearly did Akan. If you know how my career path is so far away from that, you understand what I'm talking about. And you know, I saw a post something and it said, your 20s are very, very crazy. You will nearly open police station. I nearly did it. I even started an NGO. I was just everywhere. It needs you to take a step back and figure out, okay, what can I do? And you need to realize that you can actually do a lot of things in your lifespan. Are we together here? Because your story would always evolve. So when I teach personal branding, I always say that you can't call yourself, your mission is not to be a doctor, or your mission is not to be, your profession is just a state that you are in. It's an expression. Are you getting my point? In 2019, I contested for office in Lagos here. I was known as a politician everywhere. I don't do anything related. If a Nigerian politics tire me at this point, now I'm just an onlooker. I just watch news. I say it is well. Then I go on with my life. Because what else would you say again now? You know, Trump wants, one of you are core members here. Is there any core member here? You were. You know, Trump is invading us very soon. You know that, right? So after the soldiers go and fight, core members are drafting them. So if you know any NYC member, just prepare, buy something for the person. They go and fight very soon. So you need to know what your purpose is. If you need to take a step back, take that step back. Somebody told me of something called the S strategy then, and he said, you know, when you look at an S, there are two curves. The S curve, there's a small curve and there's a big curve. Start with the small curve. So look for what is it that you can do or that you are doing that has that you can start easily at this point now. That when it starts, you can use it to pivot into so many other things later on. Some of you, what you want to be known as, you cannot really be that right now. Are we together? You want to become a PME Farmer King, but you cannot even buy Indomie and cook at home because you are broke, right? And you want to be going to restaurants every day to go and be sampling food. And you are waiting, so you need to look for what is there's a word we use in corporates. What's the lowest hanging fruits? You know, that I can start with and then start building on it so that you can easily pivot as at that time. So you need to if you need to take a step back, You'll ask yourself questions like, what are the things that are going to inspire your journey? For me, everybody in my house is a teacher. So even as much as I ran away from it, I always say I didn't want to teach. I've taught every level. I've taught primary school, secondary school, every level of students I've taught. But right now, am I not a teacher? I currently lead L&D in the company. Every day I do training, from virtual trainings to physical trainings. I have classes where I teach every day. And I now realize that is something that really shaped what I'm doing today. One thing one output you get from this part is a clear one-line statement that defines why you exist as a leader. For me, I said I exist to turn leadership potential into executive impact. Now, you might not have something as refined as this, because this is years of experience talking. When I started out, I didn't know anything as executive impact. Do you get my point? But right now, after I've spent years, I now realize that I want to stay with the corporate space and train people to become leaders in the corporate space. And that's what I've been doing. So find a statement that encapsulates what your purpose is. Let's move to the next slide. So the next one should be your problem. Now, this is very good because you can use it to galvanize your audience. You can use it to galvanize your community. So you need to find something that you are fighting against or something that you've noticed that you want to solve. Are we together? So you use that to galvanize your audience. For some of you, you hate the Nigerian political system. Am I communicating? And you want to change something. There's a fire burning inside of you, and you want to change it. Now, when you understand what you are fighting against, or what it is, a cause, something that you stand against, you are able to galvanize people. If you go through history, all kings, leaders understand that if you want to raise an army, you have to give them something to hate. Are we together? You have to give them something to be angry about. So if you want to build your own community, you have to give them something that will make them passionate. That's very key. So when you identify that, you are now able to build something around that. Next one. I'm trying to move with the time so that I don't overshoot. Now, this is where you start telling your story. You see, a lot of people, this is where they start from. They start telling their story. And that's why we have so many disjointed stories. You know, people, they're just saying a lot of things. And I went through that too. I had my own stage of disjointed stories until I had to take my step back. That's why I'm a big advocate of silence. Take a step backwards sometimes. Are we together? And relax. You know, we're in an era where everybody wants to be, you know, you just started the industry yesterday. You are an expert already on LinkedIn. I'm calm, you know. Marketing, especially marketing industry, Jesus, that's why I left that space. So, and just know how to do content calendar. You are a marketing expert. Are there marketing experts here? Just small content calendar, not even 1 month or 1 week. Content calendar, just 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Marketing experts. I'm like, bro. You know, when I really did marketing, I realized that no, all this thing we are doing is just God will help us. So tell your story. Once you've known what you want to push out, you can now begin to tell your story. Now, at this point, you need to realize that we are in a stage of performative, what will I call it now? We're in a stage of performance. You need to be authentic. You need to be real, right? See, personal branding has shifted right now. If you go to the studio now and go and do fine picture, it will be there. But you see, you do realize now, see that my picture that they put on that slide there. Did you notice something about the picture? I want to even change it, sir. I heard that they're doing headshots for us today. Because once you wear turtleneck and go on social media like this, you just set yourself up for dragging. I hope you know that. Am I correct? And we that we know book, they just, because a lot of people that have worn turtleneck have just done rubbish. Oh, you don't know? You didn't know? If you know, raise up your hands. It's not be like I'm saying rubbish. Just put turtleneck and go on Twitter. They will not even rate you again, Seth. And I don't know why. Ordinary innocent cloth, too. And I used to like turtleneck. I just dashed that turtleneck out, too. And I'm not replacing it because I really used to like turtleneck. But, so you see, you have to be authentic. You have to, gone are the days where you go and prepare your tweets and then, no, now sometimes you just share a funny thing. You tell your life story. You can't afford to be uptight. Are we together? Even Obama listens to Rema. You can't afford to be uptight. Did you get that, my? Rema. Right. Obama listens to Rema. Somebody say power. You know, he drops his yearly playlists. And you see African songs. You can't afford to be uptight. Your story, you must always understand that we are in a world where people want to take your stories. Are we together? Let me give you a hack. Tell the stories around what you do and how you do it. How you do it, not necessarily what you do. For example, I'm a trainer. Some of the topics I train on are very, very boring and technical. Maybe you are in my class and I'm teaching supply chain management. It's not because I can teach well. If not, you will sleep. Or I'm teaching corporate governance and sustainability. Or I'm teaching, yes, the one I taught of recent, enterprise risk management. Even me that was teaching it, I was like, what is this? Are you getting my point? But you see, on social media, I might now go and put a 30 seconds video of me with my suit coming into the building. Are you getting my point? Taking tea, mixing up with people, and you will just feel like I'm doing the best job in the world. Am I correct? So tell stories around what you do, relatable stories around what you do, around how you do it. Do you get my point? And then you can move. That's how you tell the stories that you want to do. So a short, relatable narrative showing your evolution and your growth. For myself, my stories show how I have grown, how I started training. I told you of my glory suits. So now that if I'm going, I can say, okay, I have a lot of suits I want to wear and go out. But then I can tell you how I grow. I can share those stories. I can share stories of when I went to train and somebody, I did a training one time and, they would do gradings after the class and everybody rated me 0. It was bad. I told my boss, I'm not doing it again. I'm leaving this industry. I'm not doing it again. And he just laughed at me and he said, it's a normal thing now. It's not 0 they grade you. You will pass. And I like that man, even though we fought a lot, but he gave me confidence to keep pushing. And he told me, don't worry, next one. Because his style of teaching was, you learn by shock. And that's how I do it. You're my mentee, you learn by shock. You don't learn by example. You don't learn by people's example. You don't even learn by your example. I just tell you, so you are doing something tomorrow, prepare. And if you like one, disgrace yourself there. You just learn by shock. Then next time you will not do it again. You prepare very well. And that was how he threw me into situations I never thought I would see myself in. But then I was able to cope and run with it. So you have to tell your story. Then for proof. Now this is very, very key because people are not going to listen to you until they know that you have something, that you've done it. Are we together? Especially in a world where everybody's telling stories right now. You need to have your proof. You need to have your credibility. You see, I started out my career in marketing communications. That's why I used to abuse you people in that field. And one thing I realized was that it was a field that anybody could just enter. Are we together? Anybody could just enter that field and start saying one or two things. In fact, the first thing that I realized, and that helped me even build a business, I built a business around that, was that a lot of people, how many minutes do I have more, please? A lot of people in the marketing communications field did not study anything related to, they didn't do mass comm, they didn't do marketing. You have lawyers. Lawyers are the worst. They have colonized our industry. Lawyers, bankers, everybody is there. Then I understood that for you to come out of there, I needed to go back to school. In fact, I was very aggressive about getting extra knowledge that would set me apart. And that's why I started looking for knowledge. Because I was not just looking for random knowledge that just go and take one random course or just go online and read something. I wanted structured certifications, are we together, that can help you stand out. So that when we come together, I can tell you that I've done this, or I have this certification. I'm just personalizing, that was what I did there. You need to have your proof. You need to realize that it's not just going to be enough to talk. There are many times you will need to tell them, I have done this, I have fought in the trenches, I have my scars, I know what I have done. Very, very important. And let me just add here now that if you are building anything or you are, running anything, no matter how small it is, please take pictures. Are we together, everybody? Be aggressive about these things. Take pictures, create videos, create memories, keep these things. See, brothers and sisters of the Lord, are we together? We have Muslims here, I apologize. I ran for office in 2019. 2019 was a very big thing, very big deal for me. I ran for a seat in the Lagos State House of Assembly, 2019. Right now, nobody's even talking about me again. Even me, I'm not even talking about myself, that I ran for the office, because people have forgotten. But you see, at that point, I was doing something, I was 27, I was doing something that was huge. The point I'm driving at is that people will move on fast from that big thing that you think you did. Are you getting my point? The onus is on you to tell your story, to retell your story, and to be able to bring it back up whenever you need to. There are doors that I want to enter, and I will invoke that I ran for office, and those doors will open. Because I have the evidence for it. Are you getting my point? So you need to keep those things, keep them. I would say many times when I sit back, I was looking at, do you know this guy on TikTok, Justin Uji? You know Justin now, that does the secondary school skits. So he posted a throwback when he was interviewing Vector. You saw that video. And I smiled. You know why? You know, I told you I started my career in marketing, all those things. As far back as 2011, right? 2009, 2010, I was at NIG, Nigerian Institute of Journalism. I did my ND there. So you go for 4 months internship. As far back as that time, I'd already interviewed Olamide. I'm not giving you Lambao, I'm not giving you stories. Oh. I'd interviewed Olamide, I'd interviewed DJ Jimmy Jat, I'd interviewed Sasha. In fact, I remember when I was going to interview Sasha, God, the faces I'm looking at. Do you know what they call midgets? Yeah. Are you a mass comm student? You work in a radio station. So you're the one that knows what they call midgets here. Interesting. So we that did journalism those years, when life was hard. Yeah, because life was hard. If you want to do an interview for somebody, you use a midget to record what the person was saying. It's like a cassette. Then when you record it, that's where your problem starts. You now go back, put earpiece and start transcribing. Very difficult. Extremely stressful. So I went to interview Sasha. Do you know Sasha? Sasha P. Storm Records then. Their office used to be at Admiralty Way. So I went to interview her, and then my midget stopped working. Before I got there, then I apologized to her. I told her my midget is not. She said, you better write exactly what I said. I'm a lawyer. If you don't, I'll deal with you. That was when I knew I had retentive memory. As she was talking, everything. I wrote one full page of a magazine. Everything was correct. I said, yes, I'm a brilliant person. I was I was doing a lot of work in the media space. I used to do interviews. I would go for celebration. I don't have any single evidence right now about that life. To me, it looks like I'm even lying. Maybe I didn't do it. I don't have, because you know, as at that point, we didn't have like so much social media where you can post some of all this. I don't have any evidence. Do you know Oge Okoye, the actress? She wanted to launch a brand at one time, her makeup brand, Crystal Glam and Essence. I think I was 19 or 20 then. I managed the whole process of the product launch. We did it at Sheraton. They really was our MC. I put the stories on Bella Naija. Big stuff that if I do now. Oh, thank you. Perfect. If I do it now, I'll be everywhere. I don't have one single evidence. Just once. I'm just lying. I'm just lying. Just plenty. And that's why I don't even talk about it again, because you know, Gen people are rude. If I just say, oh, take her, and that thing will pay me. I swear, I'm telling you that it will pay me. So I will not even make the mistake. I know that you are, good people. People will not take that kind of rubbish here. It will pay. Please, don't make me cry today. So I don't even say it. I just say, oh, take her, go and rest. I swear, it will pay me. It will pay me. So please save your, keep your proofs. They are very, very important. Let's move. That's the last one we are doing now. Promise. Promise is a call to action. Carry your people along. We want to do this. We want to build this. And then you can move on. Next slide. Finally, your story should evolve, not change. Are you getting my point? So the core of your story, the core of who you are, right, should be there. But then it will evolve. Do you get my point? Tomorrow now I might become a pastor. I won't become a pastor, but for the sake of this class, I might become a pastor and I'm leading a church. My story would evolve. Are we together? Yeah, so that's what you should do. And then lastly, let's connect. It was beautiful meeting you all. That takes you to a page where you can read it. You can follow me on social media and all of that. Thank you. Did you get anything from my session at all? Did you enjoy it? You loved it? Somebody say power.